Come with me to set up my Notion. Okay, so we're at my mom's house, hence the new background. I'm setting up my Notion for my book, which I still haven't named, so that's why it's called my to be named book. I still haven't named the book. It's a whole thing, okay? Dude, I've been trying to get this started, my laptop on for an hour. I watched a whole episode of Jane the Virgin, and then it finally turned on. Like, dude, I need a new laptop so bad. So, I guess for my opening, I'm gonna write, this is where I plan to keep everything organized and clean to make the process of writing my book easier. So that's my opening after the title. So now we're gonna have to add a page, embed it into the page. We're gonna go to Google Docs because that's where I have all of my characters, my chapter planning, my plot planning, my everything. It was just my friend. But yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do right now. So right now, I think I'm gonna start with the main characters, obviously. Maybe right now I'll show you a little bit about the main characters. The main character, her name is Esmeralda Ramos, and hopefully she looks like that. That's how I've imagined her to look. Oh my god, the strobe lights. She is a werewolf. And then this is her love interest, Dahlia Axton, who is a vampire princess. Also Esmeralda, she is the werewolf queen. I know it kind of maybe seems a bit cliche, but it's whatever, it's my book. I want to write for ages 11 to 15, maybe even 10, because I don't like spice. And I know so many kids are gonna grow up to be reading now, like books like Colleen Hoover or like Icebreaker, is that what it's called? You know, that one hockey romance that was basically but yeah, I just don't want kids to grow up reading that. Like, I don't want, like, if you have strict parents but you want to read, I feel like a lot of books are off limits to you. I don't want my books to be off limits to you. I'm gonna write very little spice. My books might be a little gory, but that's it. Like, I don't want too gory. Something like kind of like my book right now kind of reads a bit more like a Sherlock Holmes Legacies sort of vibe. And I want my writing style, like how I write, to be easily read by 11 to 15-year-olds. I'm not writing for adults, I'm writing for kids. I want it to be all pretty, but I don't know how to make it all pretty, so I mean, it's fine. I am just trying to make it easily accessible for me because my laptop is on its last legs. So I just want everything to be easily all in one place. Now that I'm gonna upload the main character's siblings onto this. Dahlia has an older brother, Landini. The names will make sense when you've read the book. If it gets published. Hopefully it gets published. Hopefully. That's my dream. I want to be a published author, obviously. Even if most people don't buy my book, I want to at least be published. But that's Dahlia's older brother. And this is Opalite Grace. This is Esmeralda's half-sister. Next, I will be uploading the main character, Esmeralda, and her friends. So this is Simon Solis. He is a siren. And this is her other friend, Amelia Witz. She is an important part of the story. Well, they both are. They're her best friends. She is a witch, by the way. Now I'm gonna upload Dahlia's friends. This is Rosalind Ball. She is a fairy. This is Grayson Shaw. He is a vampire. And this is Zoe Fritter. She is a fairy. Okay, that was all my character info section. Now it's time to try and make it look pretty. This is just what I have so far. Oh my god, the strobe lights. But character info. This is main characters, this is main character's siblings, Esmeralda's friends, and Dahlia's friends. With Esmeralda, I am really trying to embrace the Hispanic culture because she is Hispanic Mexican, like I am, but I am not very in touch with my culture. I don't know Spanish. I don't really practice most Mexican practices, I guess, like Dia de los Muertos. I don't go to church very much often. I know that's not a Mexican practice, but most Mexicans are Catholics or Christians and go to church. I don't do that. I don't even believe in God. But I really do try and touch on the culture a little bit because it's important to me that I write POC characters and LGBTQ characters because there is such little representation, much more representation than there was 5 or even 10 or even 5 years ago, but I want to write about those kind of people, and I know it's hard for me because I'm not in touch with my culture almost at all, but I really am trying to be through this character. I'm trying to decide what photo, because I'm going to separate. So you have the heading, which is my to-be-named book, the small description, and then the character info page that I embedded there. And I want to add a picture to separate it, because then I'm going to add all my Pinterest links so that it's easier to navigate. And I don't have to log into my account every time. I can just click and it'll bring me to my board. But I'm deciding between this one or maybe this one. I don't know if you can see, but it's 2 girls kissing. I think I am gonna go with this one though. I'm gonna size it down, obviously. I think it's just gonna look like that. It's not the prettiest, but I'm trying mostly to go for easily accessible over pretty, but I do want it to look kind of pretty. Okay, so now we are gonna add all of my Pinterest boards to my Notion. So let's embed another page. I did my Pinterest boards before I even started developing characters. I knew I wanted a vampire and a werewolf at the center, mostly the werewolf. So I just wrote vampire main girl aesthetic. I didn't ever change the name of it. Okay, so we're gonna add the werewolf one first. Still, it says werewolf main girl aesthetic. This is obviously Esmeralda. I guess I'll show you a few pictures. Maybe I can public my boards and then I'll link it in the description. I'll put like a text right here or something if I did actually do that. I'm probably gonna forget. I went through very template trying to figure out what does this character like to do? What does this character look like? What do they want to look like? Stuff like that. And a big part of Esmeralda and her whole name and everything is her green eyes. So we have this photo right here. These werewolf paw prints in the snow. It doesn't really snow much in the book. Maybe I'll make a snow scene. And now we are going to move on to Dahlia. Dahlia is this very, she's like cold and closed off, but she's also a big advocate for her people. She wants to figure out I guess I'll just tell you a bit of what's going on in the book. What's happening and who killed one of the people in her kingdom. And she just very determined. I don't really know how else to put it. I haven't written much about her in the book other than her looks and a few scenes. I've developed Esmeralda a lot more. Esmeralda's a person who believes in stereotypes, maybe a little bit, because she's friends. There's 5 kingdoms, okay? There's the werewolf kingdom, the vampire kingdom, the fairy kingdom, the witch kingdom, and the siren kingdom, and the banshee kingdom. Yes, six one is the banshee kingdom, but they're not a huge part of the story. And she's friends with all the kingdoms except for the vampire kingdoms because of the way her father raised her, that vampires are these cold-blooded, evil people that want nothing more than to harm you. And she believed that, but she didn't believe it in a way that she was mean to them and wanted to hunt vampires. She believed it in a way that she fears vampires. She fears these types of people. And throughout the story, she's gonna progressively change that fear into something else, and she's going to try and embrace it because she becomes queen at the beginning of the book, and she wants to be a queen who welcomes all. But how can you be a queen who welcomes all if you're afraid of vampires, right? Obviously Dahlia's a vampire, so I have this photo for her in there, and I have this little quote: "Nobody is coming to save you, get up." And this is Simon. I guess you can add descriptions because quite a few months ago, like 6 months ago when I started this back, I wrote, "He is a siren, not a part of the royal family / house. His name is ? And he is one of the werewolf girl's friends." I still had no names for them. But this is Simon's Pinterest board. He is a siren. One of the few male sirens, because most sirens are women, but he is one of the very few that are men. So I have this little picture of a mermaid. This is how he typically dresses. I don't think I've described how he dresses in the book, but I'm on, I think, chapter 13. And also my chapters are very small because, again, writing for 11 to 15-year-olds, most people that age don't have a large attention span, and they're most likely just starting to get into reading. So my chapters are usually anywhere from like 5 to 10 pages long. I'm trying to write more for each chapter, but right now I only have about maybe 60 pages written, and it's 13 chapters. But I don't plan to write anything more than like 250, because again, of my age range. And this one is Witch Friend W. The W on at the end stands for werewolf, by the way, so that I would know that. Oh, that's Esmeralda's friend. Her name is ? She is a witch commoner, not a part of the royal family / house, and she is the werewolf girl's best friend. Again, like I said before, she is a very important part of the story. Maybe not in the way that you think when going into the book. If you've watched this video before, I've published a book in like 5 years, probably. Hopefully sooner. I would love to be a published author while I'm in college. That would be great. So I have this photo for a little scene in probably like chapter 15 that I'm very excited to write. Also, since we're on Amelia's page, I I'm gonna write the main book, and then I'm gonna write a few short novellas, like 100 pages long, of the side couples. So there are 3 side couples that I'm probably gonna write small novellas about after the book, and they're not, more than likely not going to take place after the events of the book. They're going to take place during the book, during like the main book. But that's what I'm going to do, and I already have such a good idea for my second book, for like my second main book, that of course I will do the main book and then have a few small novellas, because I always want to know about those side characters, those side couples. I think it'd be great to write a book about that. And Amelia is a witch, so I have that photo right there. And this is Landini's board, Vampire Girl's older brother / King of the Vampires. I have this photo with a little crown. There's not much to Landini, really. He's just the King of the Vampires. He's not going to have many appearances. He's only had 1 appearance for 1 chapter, and that's it so far. Chapter probably 15 through 20 will have a lot of characters pop up, like the friends, the family, King of the Vampires, probably all the kings and queens of each of the kingdoms. And this is assistant / close friend D Fairy, so D for Dahlia, and this is Rosalind. Rosalind. I thought I said Rosaline again. This is Rosalind. She wears a lot of red, so her hair is red. As you saw, I showed the picture. This is a photo I have there. This is another photo I have, which actually inspired one of the main plots of my book. Well, one of the main plots, the main plot of my book. Guys, I thought I lost all that footage. That was like 30 minutes of footage. That scared me. My phone turned off. But we are moving on to the next Pinterest board. Fairy Friend D. This is Zoe. She's an earth fairy, but she also owns a bakery with her family. Picture of a little tea and little flowers because she's an earth fairy. She's already had quite a few scenes in the book. I'm not sure if she's going to be a super important character. I don't think she will be, but she is involved. On to the next Pinterest board. Ooh, Opalite E's sister. E for Esmeralda. So I'm assuming this is when I actually named the werewolf main girl. Opalite is the half sister of Esmeralda, and she is half human, half werewolf, and lives in the modern world, the human world. There's like a gateway, a portal. I haven't worked out the details. There probably will be plot holes in terms of this, I'm gonna be honest. But there is a gateway from the human world to the supernatural world. And supernaturals live in the human world, but humans do not live in the supernatural world. She wears a lot of like business casual outfits, very more modern compared to the outfits that the main characters wear. Yeah, she's not close with Esmeralda. They maybe met a few times. Like, an affair. Opalite was the result of an affair, so she's not super close with Esmeralda, especially because she's half human. She plays the piano. Vampire Friend D. So yeah, I did, at this point, name the main characters. This is Grayson. This is a photo I have of him. Well, I have a photo for him, obviously that's not him. Honestly, I would love to get the movie rights get a movie for my book. I feel like it would be so cool. But baby steps, okay? Originally, I wanted him to wear glasses, but I don't think that's who he is after I've thought about him so much. He hasn't made an appearance in the book yet, but I have thought a lot about Grayson. And I don't think he wears glasses anymore, so the Pinterest board might be a little inaccurate. Is this Grayson? Spelled the proper way. Grey. I don't care what any of y'all say. Dude, I'm so glad my mom and her boyfriend are at work, because, dude, if they heard me talking like this, they would think I'm, like, crazy and be like, why is she talking to herself? Esmeralda's ex-fiance, Evan? That was his name? I've already written about him, and his name is Ezekiel, not Evan. I don't know where this came from. But, yeah, this is him. I haven't written a character template for him. Wait. Uh-oh. I've done a Pinterest board for him, but not a character template for him. But he is a werewolf. And he's, like, the commander of the army. The werewolf army. Like, the leader, I guess. This is what he looks like. He's blonde and blue-eyed. He is sort of important to the story, like, more towards, like, the beginning of the story, that he's really important. Not so much anymore, which I know is, like, why did she make him her ex-fiance then if he's not important anymore? I just felt like it. At first it was supposed to be, like, a love triangle sort of thing, so Ezekiel, Esmeralda, Dahlia. Esmeralda was supposed to first be with Ezekiel at the beginning, but I felt like that wasn't what I wanted for the book. But I still liked Ezekiel. He was the third character I made after the two main ones, Esmeralda and Dahlia. I thought I would keep him in the story. How I'm gonna keep him, like, officially, like, a part of the story and not just completely forget about him, I don't know. Don't ask me these questions. Stop. But I think he is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite side characters. And then this is my general book aesthetic Pinterest board. So this is, like, one of those crime boards. You've seen those, like, if you've watched crime TV shows, stuff like that. Like Law and Order or Criminal Minds. Even if you've watched Sherlock Holmes or Enola Holmes. Tee-hee-hee. I thought this one was cool. The crown with the blood dripping down. It's my last one. Oh wait, no, I know. I still need to make the Pinterest board for this guy. The King of the Fairies. He has a small role, but that small part is kind of important. A little small bit, because my friend Elias asked me to write him in the book. So I am writing him in as the King of the Fairies. His name's still gonna be Elias, obviously. But yeah, he is gonna be in the book somehow. So that is my Pinterest board page. So we're going back to my to be named. And we're gonna grab something to make the icon. And I think actually that crown picture with the blood is the one I'm gonna use for the icon. I don't know whose dog that is, but that dog needs to shut up. I'm just kidding. I'm not really, like, a huge fan of dogs. I like cats. I love cats. So that's my Notion so far. My to be named book, character info, the photo, and then my Pinterest boards. Next one is going to be... I closed out of my web browser. Hold on. I gotta log all back in. Okay, we're logged back in. Is my Spotify. I'm not gonna make that public. never make that public. Okay, right here, my writing mix. I guess I'll tell y'all some of the songs that are in here. Converse High by BTS, On Leaves by BTS, Standing Next to You, Shot Glass of Tears, both by Jungkook, Social Path by Stray Kids, basically V's entire album. Oops. All of Scene's songs, I love them so much that they disbanded. Older Shadow, Mind the Way You Felt, If You Have Each Other, Annabelle's Homework by Alec Benjamin, Snow Globe, Love, Bouquet, The Teen by Ethan Joel, Microcosmo by BTS. It's just like a chill but like an also hype playlist because I don't want to fall asleep when I'm writing, which I definitely have done before. And I don't think we're gonna have a photo separating these ones, mostly because I'm too lazy to open up my Pinterest again and look for one. So we're just gonna copy paste it into a page. And I actually am realizing we are gonna have to go and open my Pinterest because I need to change the icon anyway, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grab one from my book aesthetic. Okay, and that is my Notion complete. I'm sure I forgot a ton of things, but that is just what I'm gonna be adding right now. I think it's cute, sort of, if you look at it, like with squinty eyes. But, I don't have an actual plan for this video, so bye!